Hey, it's nice to be here. So today I'm going to be talking about leveraging online communities for successful events. So one of the reasons why I chose this topic is because Mashable, which is a news website for digital, we host a wide variety of events ranging from big conferences to big industry parties to smaller intimate events. And one thing that most of our events have in common is that we really depend and tap into our online communities to make our events as successful as possible. So I know probably there's some people in the audience who are either new brands or startups who don't really have this large global online community yet, but there's so many ways to take advantage of the existing social networks that are on the internet today. And so today I'm going to be talking about this topic, and I hope to be able to impart some useful tips and tricks whether you plan events or not. So first I want to start a little bit about my personal connection to online communities. So for a large portion of my life, I've been a very shy person. So when the internet rolled around in the late 90s, this was actually a really exciting time in my life because soon after that, all these various social networks and online communities started popping up. So for somebody who's shy, discovering these online communities was a really amazing thing for myself because it offered a really comforting place for me to meet new people without being afraid and just really have these new experiences that I wasn't able to have in my own personal shy world. So one network that I flocked to was Flickr because I've always been really into photography, and this was before Facebook and Instagram, so this was the big network for me. And I would spend hours and days, I was glued to my computer just pouring through images and commenting on people's pictures and chatting in forums, but eventually I wanted something more meaningful than just chatting online all the time. So I finally mustered up the courage and went on some Flickr meetups and started meeting photographers in real life and making these new personal connections and just being really inspired and feeling more creative. And what I found was that I would go back online onto Flickr and post the images that I was taking with these photographers that I met and continue the conversation online with the photographers I met. So this really helped me overcome my shyness, and I started to become really fascinated with this whole blending of online and offline worlds through communities. And this is something that we actually do at Mashable all the time with our events. So at Mashable, what we like to do is really embrace the online and then take that offline to create a really unique experience through our events, and then hopefully have that translate back online through our attendees sharing their experience. So to talk a little bit about Mashable, Mashable started as a small social media blog in 2005, and in the last 8 years, we've really evolved into a global media company. So today, our main mission is to be the source for digital culture, utility, innovation, inspiration, and entertainment. And we really consider our audience to be what we call the connected generation. So I certainly feel like I'm a part of this generation, and I bet many of you in the audience also feel this way too. And this is a generation that's really passionate about community. They're passionate about consuming content. They're passionate about innovation, and they're passionate about sharing. So our audience loves to share. So whether they're sharing, articles on Mashable or what they ate for breakfast that morning or where they went on vacation last week, it's this passion for sharing that has really had our audience organically grow so much in the last 8 years. And now we're one of the most engaged online news communities in the world. So just to kind of give you a sense of how big we've become, we've got 22 million monthly readers. We've got over 13 million social followers across all of our various networks, and over 2.5 million articles shared each month. So Mashable's core online communities that we really tap into for making our events the best they can be are Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Meetup. And these are easily networks that I recommend everybody, really utilizing if you're going to be trying to have this successful event. But before you do anything, I just want to talk about a few things that are really important for all events. It's important that you have a good mission statement. So you want a mission statement that really resonates with your audience and clearly ties into your event. So one mission statement that I thought was really successful that we did for one of our events, which was the Social Good Summit, is how are technology and innovation making the world a better place? So this was a really powerful mission statement for us because it helped us reach a really large audience around the world, and it was something that so many different people identified with. So once you've got your mission statement down, it's time to come up with a clever hashtag. So hashtags are so mainstream now, and I don't even have to go into telling you guys what a hashtag is. But there's a few key things that you need to know about hashtags for your events, and that's to really capture a hashtag or have a hashtag that really captures your event. So you want to make it short, memorable, and meaningful. So one example of that is for our Social Good Summit, we used the hashtag 2030Now. And this was a really effective hashtag because it really conveyed the refined theme that we were going for, and that was how do we use the digital tools of today to make a lasting impact to 2030. And this really helped drive a global conversation, and we saw so much chatter online because of this hashtag. Remember that hashtags are now on multiple platforms, so they're not just on Twitter. Remember to leverage your hashtags on platforms like Instagram and Vine and Facebook. And lastly, this is a point that I can't overemphasize. It's so important to over-promote your hashtag at events. It's really important that people know what the hashtag is so they can contribute to that global conversation and really take your event to the next level. So put your hashtag on digital signage, put it on pamphlets, have it on your mobile apps. Just have it be really obvious because you'll find that afterwards it'll really pay off. So once you have your mission statement and your hashtag locked in, I want to talk about a few techniques for really leveraging social networks to make your event successful and global. So one thing that we like to do at Mashable is we sometimes will hold Twitter chats to build anticipation for our events. So a Twitter chat is simply a conversation on Twitter. And hosting a Twitter chat can build up excitement. It can create awareness of your event, and it can bring in a global conversation. So if you want to have a Twitter chat, there are a few things that you need that are very easy to attain most of the time. You've already got your hashtag down. You need a moderator, so somebody who understands Twitter and knows how to use it very well. You need an engaging topic that people really want to be a part of. It's important to invite at least 3 to 5 influencers who can keep the conversation going and that will want people to attend. And then obviously you want a date and a time and then to promote it. So one example of when Mashable used a Twitter chat to make an event super successful was for our digital marketing award ceremony called the Mashies. This year was our first year, and we wanted to build up anticipation for it. So we had a Twitter chat leading up to the ceremony, and we invited the judges, and we had a conversation on the future of digital marketing. And it was really successful because we created this global conversation online. We had people joining in from all over the country and from even different parts of the world. And it created a lot of awareness for our event, and we saw a rise in submissions, and overall it was a huge success. Another tool that you can use to build anticipation for your events are Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts are really great, especially when you're having a conference or some kind of content session. So what you can do is host, a Google Hangout with speakers to tease the content that's going to be coming up at the event. And it's a really great way to, promote your event, help sell tickets, and also to offer something to your audience if they can't attend the actual event so that you're giving back. And another really great thing about Google Hangouts is they can be converted into YouTube videos and then shared later and used as marketing collateral for future events. So Meetup Everywhere is a really great platform if you want to make your events go global. So I'm assuming that some of you or most of you have hopefully attended a meetup on meetup.com or maybe even hosted a meetup, but what you might not know about is Meetup Everywhere. And this is really a platform that helps brands or individuals spark global movements through events. So if you're having a massive event in a specific city like Vegas or New York or wherever, and you really want to make it go global, You can host your event on Meetup Everywhere and inspire people around the world to self-organize meetups or events that are in line with the theme of your own event. So Mashable did this with their social media day. So Mashable started Social Media Day in 2010, and it's really a day or a holiday, you might want to say, that celebrates the digital revolution happening around the world. So we really wanted to make this go global. So we put this on our Mashable Meetup Everywhere platform, and last year over 100 countries are now celebrating Social Media Day. And one thing that all of these various people have in common is they're fans of Mashable, but they're also passionate about community and social media and technology. So next I'm going to talk about a few ways you can leverage social to extend the life of your events. Two tools that we use are Storify and Facebook groups. So Storify is a tool that's used by a lot of journalists. And Storify basically captures a story of a major event, like sometimes a disaster or an election or anything that's really big in the news. And journalists will use this to tell a story through social media. And a lot of conference organizers are now using Storify to tell a narrative of what happened at their conference. So what I mean by this is that the organizers are using user-generated content, so attendees who are taking Instagrams or tweeting or YouTube videos or whatever it may be on social, as long as they're using that hashtag, conference organizers are then pulling the highlights and all the different pieces of this content and telling a story through it. And this is a really great way to keep the event living online, and it's also great for marketing tools and recaps. And then next, another really great tool that we use is Facebook groups, which I'm sure most of you have heard of, but Facebook groups are an excellent way to keep the conversation going after the event is over. Facebook groups can be closed networks, so it's a very intimate way for attendees to stay in touch about the conference or whatever else they want to talk about that's related to the theme of the event. And it's also great for the organizer to go into the Facebook group and perhaps give exclusive offers to future events or discounts or whatever they want to do. So to conclude, I hope I was able to convey this whole kind of cycle of online and offline experiences. So one thing that we love to do at Mashable is really kind of tap into this online world and then create this offline experience that's really meaningful and unique, and then hopefully have that translate back online through attendees sharing out on their social networks and telling stories of the event. And if you're able to achieve this cycle, then I think that, in my opinion, this is really the marker of a successful event. So that is it. Thank you very much. Okay.